Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Thank you for stopping by. Well, coming today, you're very, very welcome. How great to see everybody here. I trust you enjoyed my last video from Aussie music legend Darryl Cotton and through his song, Don't Let It Get To You. We looked at that very thing. How do we not let things get to us? So I trust you found that one encouraging. We're going from there to a band that just popped up in my Facebook feed, and any band that popped up, I'm going to give them a bit of a go, including these guys today, formed in Memphis. Bill Cunningham, Danny Smythe, Alex Chilton, Gary Kelly, and Jeffrey Evans got together and formed the band The Box Tops. Now these guys were pretty big when they were around, actually. Sort of genres of combined soul and a bit of light pop. And the world kind of changed for these guys, and the world actually a little bit too, because this song went to #1 and stayed at #1 for 4 weeks in 1967, the soul classic, The Letter. So we're talking about the American Billboard charts here, by the way, #1 for 4 weeks. This song was absolutely massive. Not written by these guys, but certainly these guys brought this song to life. In fact, this single sold around 4 million copies and was nominated for 2 Grammy Awards. Below we've got it's an official studio clip from 1967 and move forward then to a live version in 2018. Now, The Letter. Obviously, this day and age, we don't really write letters anymore, do we? No, we don't. No, we used to handwrite a letter. Then we'd put it in an envelope, address it, make sure we put our return address on the back, put a stamp on it and chuck it in the letterbox. That's what we used to do. And then a little bit later, out came this thing called a fax machine. And what you did with the fax, you could put a bit of paper in this machine and a piece of paper would come out the other side. This was a bit of a revelation when that actually happened. I remember when fax machines came in. And but this day and age, no, we don't do that. Actually, before we get to today, we went to actually sending documents by attachment by email. And so we do that today, whether it's a Word document or a PDF document, or whatever you do. You send attached letters by attachments these days. But we've gone one step further, haven't we now? And that's mobile phones. And that is, we can now send a text message to each other, just talking about what we want to talk about. The story of the letter is a pretty good one. The story goes, my girlfriend wrote me a letter, and she wants to get back in touch with me, back in contact with me, so I get home and see her. Because I received this letter. How pretty exciting to actually do that. In fact, all you lovers and partners out there, why don't you just do a card one day and just chuck it in the mail? I know I did that for my girl a little while back and it actually blew her away big time. So, sometimes your good old-fashioned methods aren't bad. But the thing I wanted to talk to about today is this difference between when you do things by text and when you do things face-to-face. Now, I've heard of many people who have ended relationships, received end of relationship by text message. Man, I can think of anything worse than that. You're in this intimate relationship, something's really going really well, and you think things are really good, and all of a sudden you say, hey, I don't want to see you anymore by text, and that's all you get. Might get some picture, little emoji thing as well. That's not something you do by text message. Now, if any of you out there have done that, I'm not going to have a go at you too much, just to say, consider the person at the other end. If it's unexpected, if the person wasn't expecting this, surely with all the emotional investment that both of you have put in, even if it gets angry at the end, you deserve a face-to-face finale about it, because there's something unfinished about text messages. The person who receives it's going, right, not even, and of course they try to text you, they try to call you, and you don't respond because the text message, that's it. But even in relationships, when something needs to be said, like some little cultural thing is sneaking in that needs to change, or something happened that needs to be talked about, We don't want to do that by text message either, do we? No, we've got to do this stuff face to face, because one of the things about text messages, particularly if you do it on the spot, is we don't really think about what we're doing. Not really. We're not considering our feelings through completely. We're not thinking through the way we need to respond. We're not thinking about the way we need to talk about things. Well, we're not talking about things at all because we're text messaging. Give ourselves an opportunity to process, first of all, what's happened, how we're feeling about it, and think, well, how am I going to talk to this person? Because I still want the person in my life. How am I going to do it in a way that's going to actually work? Because, talking to someone about something that's a bit of a trick can be a bit of a trick. I know I really struggle with it. But I think we've got to really be careful. If there's something that we need to say, something we need to talk about face to face, hey? We don't want to do things by text message. Well, if you are going to do something by text message, it could be a way of just introducing it very slowly into the world. I remember some sitcoms, they used to say, now here's the thing. That meant, hey, something is about to be said. Warning the other person, hey, something's about to be said that's a bit of a trick. So I think we've got to pick what we text message and what we don't. Obviously, if it's just like a good morning thing, or, I love you, thinking about you now, a little bit of a love heart, or, a flame, or whatever it is, that's fine. That's just like, hey, I'm just thinking about you during the day. I can't actually ring up and talk to you right now because I might be at work. But hey, I'm just thinking about you. That's okay, I reckon. But, when something needs to be said, something needs to be discussed, there's not a text message thing, I don't reckon. I think we need to do it face to face. Because if anything, it gives ourselves more space to be able to think about the way we're going to do it. Let's really think about this text messaging thing, guys. And this goes, let's continue that to, let's go to voice messages, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, whatever it is. I'm covering all electronic stuff here, whether it's verbal, video, text, whatever it is. If it is something that needs to be talked about, let's do it face to face. I've covered all bases there. Now, I'm not talking about face to face, video to video, unless you're in different countries. But if you are in the same country, you normally catch up, get in the car, go over to the partner's house face to face. Because one good thing about face to face, you get all the nuances of the room, how the other person's feeling, how it's going to be received. You can be a little bit more sincere about it. And it's just so good to be able to do it face to face. Does it take courage? Absolutely. But can relationships deepen because of these conversations? Absolutely. And so that's the selfish reason to do face-to-face stuff, because the relationship's going to get better, probably. Not always, because it could be like, hey, I've had an affair. That's not going to go so well, is it? No, because, it's a bit of a shock. It's a bit of a betrayal, really, if that kind of happens. But, if it's like we want the relationship to continue, well, face-to-face is the way to do it, because it will deepen things, absolutely. So, before you send that next text message about something you need to say, just hold the finger off. Face-to-face is the best way to do it. Your partner deserves nothing less, don't they, really? Because you love them, right? And you want the best for them. So, I trust you'll find that one encouraging. I have heard of many people whose relationships have ended by text message. It's not good. It is not good for the person receiving it. It really isn't, because it's a bit of a shock, and we can do better than that as human beings. So the Box Top were pretty big at this point. 3 albums in 9 months. So there we go. There was a lot of songs being written, a lot of recording happening. These guys were very good musically, very tight, incredibly good vocals as well. And so these guys were kind of hitting the ground running big time. In 1968, out came another big hit. Oh, by the way, I think I said that one got to number 1 for 4 weeks. This one got to number 2, Cry Like a Baby. Got a live version of that one. And 1969, out came Soul Deep. Not so big. We got a live version of Cry Like a Baby. We then got Soul Deep in 1969, got to number 18. And again, very much the soul aspect of the Box Top. They've got this equal pop and soul happening at the same time. And I'd argue that the Letters are a bit of a combination of both. And so it enabled them to have a bit of a vehicle, pretty well creating a genre all of their own in the little time they were around. It was around 1970 that the Box Tops had a bit of a break. And then they came back in 1997. So, you know, bands never break up really. We're talking 27 years after, they kind of just have a bit of a break and think. By the way, all of the band members have gone on to have pretty significant solo careers too in various parts of the music industry. And so, you know, the Box Tops well and truly started off these guys' careers, and it's great to see them come back in 1997. Between 1967 and 1969, if I can read my writing, 4 albums. In 1998, 1 album. So in the scheme of things, you know, the fact that you can bring an album back after all these years is pretty cool. And the Box Tops certainly did add their flair and their soul / pop to the world of this collaborative thing called music. So, you know, these guys popped up on my Facebook feed. I thought, yes, I do remember the song, The Letters, so we got to give these guys a bit of a go. So the links to those 4 clips are in the description below, and I've also included my last video from Darryl Cotton. If you want to recap on him, feel free. Well, if you come back for another one, this is your first time to Life Reflections through Music. How great to see everybody here. So good to get the engagement we're getting. That's it for today. Next time I'm going to get onto the band Free. So until then, I'll catch you around. Bye for now.